Hi everyone, I hope you all are great. Today we will have relative pronouns. First, you have to log in using the.com. Click on your name, move on to language art, the grade 5. Chapters relative pronouns. And the lesson is choose between personal relative pronoun, reflexive pronouns, use reflexive pronouns. Okay, so this is what we have today, reflexive pronouns. All right, so we will start now. A reflexive pronoun are pronouns that are or usually end with self or selves. So they are pronouns that end with self or selves. All those ones that you see ending with self or selves, they are all reflexive pronoun. So we have the subject, the singular reflexive pronoun. We have I goes with myself. So I goes with myself. And then we have you, yourself. Then you have she, herself. So all these are singular reflexive pronoun. We have it, itself, he, himself. Okay, so these are the singular reflexive pronoun. And then we have plural reflexive pronoun. We, ourselves, you, yourself, and then they, themselves. So these are the plurals. Okay, so basically reflexive pronouns are pronouns that end with self or selves. That's what it's all about, and that is what we need to take note of. Okay, so moving on. All right, now a reflexive pronoun is used to refer back. So it's basically used to refer back to the subject of the sentence or clause in which it appears. It should agree with that subject. So whenever you have a reflexive pronoun, there needs to be an agreement. If there's no agreement, meaning that that sentence is incorrect. Okay, so it has to refer back to the subject of the sentence or the clause in which it appears, and there's it's very important to have an agreement between both of them. Okay, so we helped ourselves to some more soup. So as you can see, we and ourselves they go together. So that's why there should be an agreement between the subjects. Okay, so the subject of the sentence is we, so we use ourselves. After the guest left, Amy made herself a cup of tea. So Amy made herself, like this is Amy now, and you can make it she, right? So you can use the pronoun she for Amy, and using herself is the most suitable reflexive pronoun. Okay, so the subject of the clause which the pronoun appears is Amy. Amy can be called she, of course, right? A reflexive pronoun can only be used to refer to the subject of the sentence or clause in which it appears. So, to refer to someone else or something else, a personal pronoun like me, you, him, her, it, us, or them should be used instead. So, okay, it's only used to refer to the subject of the sentence in which it appears. And if you want to refer to someone else, then you have to use the personal pronoun for that. Just like Jake wrote a note for himself. Now, this is for him. Okay, so you can say Jake could be he, and himself is the most perfect reflexive pronoun for that. But if you say Jake wrote a note for him, the personal pronoun him must refer to someone other than the subject. So it's not referring to Jake as the subject, it's referring to someone else. It could be his friend or anybody. Okay. All right, let's look at some examples. Okay, so we have what? Select the best pronoun to complete the sentence. On Saturday, I will treat Dash to breakfast at my favorite restaurant. So the subject, must agree with the pronoun, right? So we would have what? I goes with myself, so I'll treat myself. That is it over here. Okay. So the next one we have the vice president gave Dash an insider tour of his office. Gave what? Gave her. Okay. Hmm. So after standing all day, because one wasn't referring to like the vice president was referring to someone else, so you can say her. After standing all day, the engineer gave Dash a foot rub. Gave what? Herself. Okay. So she. All right, so we'll move on to the test. Share your answer with me. All right, so select the best pronoun to complete the sentence. The guest held dash refreshments from the trays on the kitchen counter. So them or themselves. All right, so we have themselves. Okay, so will you help give dash direction to the Springdale Community Center? So, myself or me? So, we have me. This is me over here. Alright, so she told Dash about the hundreds of thousands of craters on Mars. So, them or themselves? Alright, so we have them. Okay, she bought Dash and Ethel a new canvases and a new set of paints. So, herself or themselves? Okay, so she bought herself and Ethel a few canvases and a new set of paints. They promised Dash a trip to Alaska by the end of next year. So they promised themselves or yourself. Alright, so they promised themselves a trip to Alaska by the end of next year. After his minor operation, Dad was like, can likely drive Dash home himself or myself. Alright, so himself home. Okay, after 3 hours, the programmed porch light turned Dash off for the night, turned itself or myself. Okay, so itself. In a few minutes, I will give Dash a break from house cleaning. I will give myself or me. Okay. So I will give myself a break from house cleaning. The vice president gave Dash an insider's tour of his office. So her or itself. Okay, so her. So that's it for the first lesson. We'll move on to the next lesson. Okay. So the next lesson is use reflexive pronouns. So this is use reflexive pronouns. So we already know basically the reflexive pronoun, how they must agree with each other and how they need to go together. I, myself, you, yourself, she, herself, it, itself, he, himself. That's for the singular. And then we have the plural, we, ourselves, you, yourselves, they, themselves. So they go together. There must be an agreement between both of them. Okay, so we can also use like personal pronoun if we're referring to someone else and we're not referring to the subject in the sentence. Okay, so let's look at an example here. The dinner party was great fun, but Bob started nodding off and had to excuse what? Bob, male, himself. Okay, so the lifelike dinosaur models were so powerful that the exhibition ended up paying for what? Itself. You you always give Dash a hard time, but we all think you are the hardest worker people hardest working person we know. So you always give yourself a hard time. Okay. So in this particular lesson, we are gonna be using the reflexive pronoun to complete the sentence. Okay. The performer told Dash to relax, but the screaming fans in the audience made her nervous. Performer, she or herself? Okay, so we have herself. Okay. The dinner party was great fun, but Bob started nodding off and had to excuse what Bob he or himself. Okay, so we have himself. Using the hose and lots of rags, we wash the car by we or by ourselves. What do you think is the right answer here? Okay, so we have ourselves. The lifelike dinosaur model were so popular that the exhibition ended up paying for what? Itself, ourselves, or it? Okay, so we have itself. You always give Dash a hard time, but we all think you are the hardest working person we know. So is it you, yourself, or ourselves? Okay, yourself. We visit the Golden Gates Railroad Museum each year, but I always treat to something from the gift shop. And I always treat something from the gift shop. So is it treat myself or ourselves or I? Okay, so we have myself. Mr. Preston bought Dash a snack and a coffee from the cafeteria. But Mrs. Preston bought herself, she or ourselves. What do you think? Okay, so we have herself. Okay, so that's it for our lesson on the reflexive pronoun. Can you guys tell me if you have any question? Tell me if you have a question. Okay, so since you have no questions, we will end here for today. Try to complete this lesson in your free time. See you again next time. Bye, everyone.